Boom. Happy holidays. What's up? I came on a minute early. I'm trying to get ahead of the crowd. Like, give people some time to get in here so that we can start closer to 8 o'clock as possible. Hi, girls. Hi, dolls. How is everyone? Happy holidays. Feliz Navidas. Feliz Navidas. Feliz Navidas. O prospero underneath the leafy dust. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Hope everyone is good. It's almost 8. How are you? Hope everyone is doing well, staying out of the cold. Yo, it's 8 o'clock. All right. What's up? We got about 5 minutes. So I'm only doing a quick short intro. But yes, this is Bitch Better Have My Money. I'm going to give you guys a crash course into freelancing, doing gigs, doing contract work and all of that. I'm going to wait till we get a couple more people in here. And then we're going to go locked and loaded. I'm going to cover a lot of topics. Give you a little briefness on what's up, Sky? What's up, Cotton? Y'all better watch y'all money. Boom. So once we get to 15 people, we'll do 15. We're at 8 right now. So once we get to 15, I'm going to start everything and do that. Give y'all a little bit of time. I want people to really get in. I won't be saving this on Facebook. I'm going to direct, hi kitten. I'm going to be directing everybody, if you have questions and things of that nature, to the YouTube page. This is going on YouTube. I'm doing this under my new charity LLC. You see how I'm doing? You see what I did? So everything is going to go on there. So if you have questions, by all means, put them on here. I'm going to read them. But if you really, really, really want to know the answer, I'm not going to respond on here because I don't want it to live here. I want it to get to YouTube. I want to start building that traction. So if you do have like a question and things of that nature, I want you to go on the YouTube page. I'm going to put all of that in the thing. And ask your question under there. I promise I'm going to respond. I want to interact. And I want people to also get the discourse. Okay, we at 8:11. Let's go. Bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. If y'all want your motherfucking money this year, come in here so you can get your shit right. Cause bitches better have your money. What's up? Merry Christmas, bitches. This one's on me. This is a free motherfucking cheat guide to get in the game. Bitches better have your money. Bitches better have your... Whoa. Let's get our cash up. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's 8:05, so let's start. So welcome. This is Bitch Better Have My Money. So I am a freelance and contract worker. I've been doing it now for about 15, 20 years. So I've been seeing a lot of different information online and just I've realized that I could share by giving you guys information that I had when I first started freelancing, things that I still use, different tools that I learn along the way. I've held every position from a hired contractor up to a creative director who has to employ freelance workers. So there is a complete spectrum. After thinking about this for a while, I narrowed it down into really something and tools that can literally cross all the way over, whether you provide a service, whether you do nails, whether you do hair, whether you're in the union, whether you do gigs, all of that kind of stuff, I'm going to narrow it down. So, real quick about me, I've been doing this for 20 years, about 20 years, yeah, wow, saying that out loud as well. But yeah, 20 years. I moved to New York in 2010 when I went completely freelance after a year of working the 9 to 5 at Bergdorf's. I'm going to talk about that too, how you can transition. After that, I've worked for probably all of your favorite celebrities. I've held creative director jobs at multi-million-dollar fashion brands that I would consult with seasonally, hiring a staff of 20, handling budgets upwards of $600,000 per quarter. So I know a little bit in the realm of being a contractor and what it entails. So I wanted to help and give people that. And we are perfectly on time. It's 8:05. So to start off, a independent contractor or a freelance worker goes into a relationship with a brand, an entity, a company that is requiring service. As a freelancer, you are providing a service, a talent, or something of the sort. This company, brand, or entity is asking you for said service. They are hiring you as a freelancer because you will not get benefits. You will not get all of the perks of being an employee. However, I will pay you for that job. That is the handshake of a company and a freelancer. I say this to say, when you go into these conversations, the needs and deliverables of this company will always be told to you directly up front. You will know what they are asking of you. You will know what they need, and you will know when they need it by. In that handshake, you as an independent contractor, i.e. or freelancer, you need to let the company, brand, or entity know what they're asking for, when you're going to get it, and what they might need. So when you go into that conversation, I say this to say that you are just as much responsible for your brand as the company is for theirs. So when you start conversations and you do these things, please keep that in mind, that a yes is a contract. Okay? So let's get that out the way. And I hope that it helps scope the journey that we're about to go on when it comes to freelancing. So working a 9 to 5. If you are working somewhere right now under a 9 to 5 or a business that pays you for your time and you get benefits and things of that nature, but you're looking to venture into a 9 to 5 work, the best way to start doing that is actually right now. You want to start actually putting everything into line, because guess what's going to happen at the top of the year if you have a job? You're about to get your taxes back. When you get your taxes back, this is the money that they've taken out of your check consistently for the 12 years or however many years, months, XYZ that you've been working there. At the top of the year, this is a good time to take some of that money, if it's not already allotted to different places or responsibilities in your life, and set these things aside, because you are about to go independent. You are about to put yourself in a market that relies on the work that you put into it. So, things like your cell phone bill, your Wi-Fi, these are things that you're going to always need as an independent contractor. And this is just across all sectors. If you're a nail tech, you're going to need this. If you're a photographer, you're going to need those. Those are the semantics that you guys have to figure out. But what I'm saying is, at the top of the year, if you want to go into this kind of work, it's good to put some things aside for the slow period that it's going to take for you to transition. Now, if you're working somewhere that gives you free range with your hours, you want to start navigating what time is your passion calling you versus this. If the gigs that you're seeing are early in the day, you might want to switch your hours to the evening time so that you can now take on those kind of opportunities and also go to work. Okay, so once you actually figure that out, you want to really just get into the game. A lot of this, again, I cannot stress it, it depends on you. Having a job while you're freelancing is a one-up in the game, because you have capital. You're being paid. So you have that money, and then you can allot it differently depending on where your passions are and where you want to invest into yourself. I can just give you the cheat code to say that the top of the year is a good time to take these things seriously. It also is a good time because of a lot of the systems that I'm going to show you, which are going to help with your invoices, which are going to help with your taxes, which are going to help with your LLC, all of these kinds of things, right? So first, it's better have my money. Once you get into the game and you start freelancing, the first thing that you want to do is create yourself an LLC. Well, actually, if you're looking at it this way, LLC, which is a limited liability company. This means that you are your own business. It is very, very, very easy to do. You can Google it yourself. You want to find a business name. The easiest thing, because you have to go through a database to make sure that the name that you're choosing is not already owned by someone. If you say are Dante Brown Consulting, most likely it's going to be unusual that somebody will have your full name and the actual profession that you do. So you can always do something like that. Or if you already have a business name, cool. But you do have to run it through the system and it cannot be owned. If it is not owned, it is yours. You fill out all of the information and you get your LLC. There are small fees that are attached to it, but this is part of freelancing, of pouring back into yourself so that things can pour back into you. Once you have an LLC, when you are freelancing, doing gigs and things of that nature, you are taken way more seriously by brands, whoever's hiring you to do these gigs and XYZ, because they do not know the scale of your LLC. You could be one person, you could be 10 people, but you are a business. What an LLC also does is it helps you going forward if you should ever run into legal problems. LLCs are taxed completely different, which we're going to talk about later, filing your taxes as a freelancer. LLCs allow you, when you're doing different jobs, to have very, very, very profitable write-offs that a lot of people step over, not knowing things they can do. So these are another things we're checking off. Getting your LLC is really your first step into understanding that you really want to do whatever it is. My LLC is Dress Code, Mr. Dress Code. That's my name on Instagram. That's my name on Twitter. That's my name on TikTok. It is a name that I use across several brands. It's registered and it is an LLC. No one can use that for profit because I now own it. So that's what I'm saying. Ownership is always key. You want to make sure that you own the things. So that way, when you're leasing out your services and you're leasing out your brand, you'll have the protection that you need if ever you come up missing $250, $500, $5,000. These are the things that protect you, okay? So expectations and deliverables. When you start freelancing, you are expected to know what you need because brands are going to tell you what they need. That relationship is honest and should be transparent. In your meetings with these people that are hiring you for gigs or things of that nature, please, a company first off, or a brand that is hiring you, is going to make sure that you understand everything that is expected of you because they are paying you outside of their company's, I wouldn't say budget, but outside of their company's like annual ordeal. They have money set aside for these things, but it goes to people like you. You need to know what it is that they're expecting. If you don't know what they are expecting, a lot of times it's hard to deliver, okay? So if you are a dancer, if you are a nail tech, if you are a photographer, if you are an editor, all of these kinds of things, this is a very important understanding. Brands that require half of a deposit before you book or before you do these things, red flags, okay? You want to stay away from those kind of brands because Needing half of my deposit before I've received half of your services is letting me know that you do not either A, get enough clientele to sustain your business. So my money for my appointment is probably buying your products, doing this, paying for your babysitter, all of these kinds of things, XYZ. It lets me know that you cannot afford to miss my appointment. Now, as a person that's going into this, the customer needs to also know, well, there is a possibility of XYZ. I might not be able to make it. How can we do this? Blah, 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 blah. Whatever that is. I'm just using scenarios, okay? But in that relationship, that's not what you want to go for. You want to go for somebody that's going to take your money after you provide a service, okay? I.e., flipped around, a gig literally pays you after you've provided your service. This is being on time. This is having the things that you need to do your higher job. We're going to go into that later on also. This is your transportation. These are all of your things. Because once we've gone into that contract, none of this matters when it comes down to your expectations and my needs or your deliverables, XYZ. So all of this really needs to be figured out. But when you're going into that deliverables versus expectations conversation, take that time to reach out. If you are a person that gets hired a lot by other people, if you need to submit an invoice for payment, you are eligible to all of the information, the contacts, the emails, the producers, or whoever is paying you, because the person that is hiring you not always is the person that is paying you. Some people get third-party hires, i.e., iPhone might hire me to do this gig. If I hire somebody to stream it, if that person asks me, hi, who are we doing this for? We're doing it for iPhone. The producer's name is XYZ. Here is their email. I say this because you being paid or being part of said project are a limited liability company. A company wants liabilities limited. Okay, I hope that makes sense though. Limited liability company. I can't be liable. Companies will always give you any information that you want to know. If the person hiring you does not want to give you that information, red flag. Okay? A company holds their integrity over gigs. Okay, they want to make sure that you're safe. They want to make sure that you have all the information. They want to make sure that you are not being deceived or taken advantage of. And if a person is not doing this, they will willfully give you all of this information. But again, this goes back into an entrepreneur, a freelancer, or a contract worker pouring into yourself to have the information that you need to protect you. Okay? Y'all following me? Oh, thank you. Just a little help, just a little Christmas. Y'all missed the money part. That was fast. Okay. Now, once you're in this world, rates and pay scales. Rates and pay scales are very, very, very important if you're going to go into the freelance market. Okay? If your rate is going to reflect your experience in whatever market you are in. If you are in the beginning of your journey, your rate is not going to reflect someone that has been doing it for said amount of years or said amount of time, XYZ. Knowing the rate or the going pay scale of whatever it is that you're freelancing keeps you from being taken advantage of. It also keeps you in the know of how you can progress as you start working in this sector. It also gives you an understanding of what you might need to do to advance certain skills, depending on where you are in your career path, you might need to tap into some courses. You might need to tap into some things that set you aside from your competition. If all of these people are making $250 an hour, you want to be over in the $500 an hour sector. But you're over there because you have said credentials or said experience that lets somebody know that you are worth investing in. Now, knowing that also, knowing pay scales lets you know how to be honest with yourself in said request. If you know that you do not have a lot of experience in whatever the field or ask might be, overselling yourself will actually get you, you get it. You don't want to go in pretending to know. Being a freelancer or a contracted employee is not a fake it till you make it ordeal, because you are a limited liability company. I don't owe you a reason why you're fired. No, I'm not paying you. You did not complete, remember the beginning, the expectations and the deliverables. So keep that in mind when you're taking on certain jobs or when you're in this ordeal, knowing that pay scale, okay? If the rate is really, sometimes hearing a lot of money sounds good and you don't really know, but we're offering this amount of money because we're looking for a trained dancer. We're offering this amount of money because we're looking for a illustrator painter. Okay, there are differences in this things, but again, you need to be mindful of your skills and you need to be mindful of the pay to make sure that what is being asked of you, you can provide. So knowing the pay scale will always help you understand after you've done certain gigs. Once you're on a gig, if you now get bumped up to more more expectations or things of that nature, you expect more from me, I expect more from you. This is a handshake, okay? Remember that. This goes into taxes. Now that you're working, you a gig girl. You making money. Where do you think this money is coming from? Think it fell out of a coconut tree? Taxes. As an independent contractor, you should always have 3 forms ready, filled out, and willing to send upon any request. That is an invoice with all of your information. We'll go over that. That is an I-9, and that is a 1099. I suggest that if you are taking gig work, if you are in that field, if you already have it done, great. If you don't, this is something that you want to do at the top of the year. Keep in mind, we have a new administration coming in January. Things are going to get very tricky, people. Having a blank invoice ready to go is one of the easiest things that you need. You can go online, google.com. You can find any blank template of an invoice. On your invoice needs to be the name that you travel with. I hate saying government issued and all of that because people try to split atoms. The name that you can board a plane with is the name that goes at the top of your invoice. When you get an LLC, because I know you're going to after this, your name that you travel with goes under your LLC because that is your business's name. You own it. You are the girl now. You got your things, your little business. This goes under there. Where you receive your mail needs to be on there. The address. Your active telephone number that I can pick up and call you at needs to be on there. Your social security number goes on there. At the bottom of your invoice, and there will be slots of there, the way that you would like to be paid goes on there. Your routing number and account number need to go on there. And this will be something that I'm going to tie back into the LLC too. Your Cash App, if preferred, needs to be on there. Your whatever you want your money to come through needs to be on there. Your email needs to be on there. Now, going back to the LLC, when you come up with your name, the best thing to do, and I suggest this, is to come up, or if you can usually get an LLC with your name that you've suggested, 9 chances out of 10, this name is also available in Google. Set up a business email that everything that you do for money goes under. That way you don't have to scroll through your notifications. You don't have to scroll through your spam. You have one email that's literally set up for your business, and the recovery email you make your personal. Use this email for your invoices. They will always be in there. When you're sending an invoice, you CC yourself so that you also have a copy of everything that you sent. Your I-9, you can go on Google. You fill this out. This is your tax form. I-9, the reason that it's required is because the person paying you needs to let the government know that they gave you this money. That's why, as a freelancer, you need to figure out a way to say that you got this money. Because if you don't say that you got this money, they'll go figuring it out and they'll take said money. So while you might think that you were waiting on $500, if you don't claim it at the end of the year, at your job or whenever you do another $250 gig, the government says, $250 for me. Here's a little bit because you got to eat, but I'll see you next time for the rest of my $500. Go online, on Google, get a blank I-9. Fill out all of the information that's on your invoice. Leave the date blank because this is always going to change whatever time that you're doing the job. However, you have the form already filled out. It's sitting in your file. Download it from Google, fill it out, scan it with your notes in your iPhone. Google girls, I don't know what you do if you're Androids, but sure, Google will tell you. Scan it with your notes, save it as a PDF because that's the only way businesses accept. And now you have your forms filled out, ready to go. All you need to do is include the date. The 1099 is what you use at the end of the year for your taxes to say that this person took a W-9 an I-9 from me. And here's proof. That way, when it comes to the end of the year, you're not owing taxes. You can get taxes. Now, when it comes to taxes, organization is one of the most important things that you are going to need as an independent contractor. I am happy to share my system for you and break it down as to why it works. This is a good time to do it. Anybody that's serious would want to do it. It's December, it's the holidays, it's a good time to jump in. You get a manila envelope that says taxes. In this manila envelope, depending on the scale of your business, take 12 envelopes and label them every month of the year. Put those envelopes inside of this envelope. As you work throughout the year, in each envelope per month, include all of the things that relate to said job and put them in that envelope. On the envelope, I like to write the date, the name of the project, and the email of who was my direct contact for said job. Should I need anything, I do not have to go digging through emails. I do not have to remember. I'm not in Instagram. I'm literally going to that envelope and have the direct person that I need to go to. Circling back, showing you how this all ties into each other. When you have an LLC as an independent contractor, you now have the opportunity to write off thousands of dollars of money that you're actually spending on these gigs. If you are a dancer and you need muscle relaxers and you buy them yourself, you take, what I like to do is keep in the receipts. Let me show you a receipt. I don't have one. You take the receipt of whatever it is. Oh, I do have one. Hold on. So, what I like to do on every job, I always have a little notepad with me, blah, blah, blah. So, say I was doing a digital job and I had to purchase a TV. I take this receipt. On the back of the receipt in pen, I write TV for XYZ or XYZ job. I take that receipt, I put it in the envelope corresponding with the month. At the end of the year, when it comes time to file your taxes, you now can go to this envelope, and on the outside of the envelope will be every job that you did that month and every receipt of expenses that you paid to do said job. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because in freelance world, there is a term that we use called operational cost. Brands will not tell you this because if you know it, they have to pay. But if you do know, you can get your money. If you need to get your hair cut or look presentable because you interact with people on said job, your nails are covered, your hair is covered, these things. All you need is a receipt. When I started working, I used to carry a receipt book that you can get from any dollar store. All you would ever need, if the person can't provide you a physical receipt with their business on it, all you would ever need is this person to merely sign it and attach their business card. So when you had to go get your $40 haircut, this now goes into your job. You had to get a haircut to go to this job because you were presenting yourself. If you, I don't know, if you do nails and you need to get your own nails done, you get a receipt and now you can write that into your taxes. If you are taking cabs, this is the biggest one. If you are taking cabs to and from work or all of these things, these cabs, when you can provide a receipt, which can easily be printed if you take yellow cabs, or it's in your ride history in Ubers and Lyfts, you just need to screenshot that with the address of the job that you were going to, and that's all that is needed to have that money covered. The reason why I say this is because operational costs, a lot of people do not realize, do not balance out to the money that you might be getting paid. If you're waiting for whatever the amount of money is, if you're waiting for, let's say 250 is going to be our number, since that was, that was a lot of the things that was going on. 250 is going to be our number. So if you're waiting for $250, okay, that is what you agreed to do this job for. Let's start there. If it takes you $60 to get to this job, it's going to take you $60 back. That's $120. You now are working for $130. 9 chances out of 10, if you are receiving that amount of money, your lunch is not covered. So now you're buying your lunch while you're at said job. If maybe the chips and pretzels don't cover you. That now is another $20. Now you're working for $110. Okay? So I say this to say operational costs are important when you are an independent contractor. I I write off so much shit. Like, I do my system in 52 weeks only because I work very randomly. I might have a 3-day commercial. I might have a 1-day job. I might have this. I might have that. I might have this. Regardless but I have to have a more narrow system when breaking down things. But if you're just starting out, this is a great way to go into the new year keeping track of things. The hardest thing is to get in front of things. So if you can already start to get a handle on your taxes when it comes to the end of the year, if you are a person that is doing a lot of independent contract work, you will be surprised at the amount of money that you actually spend to get paid. This is money that can come back to you. Okay? I write off magazines because I need to do research. If I need to go to the film or the movies or something like that, depending on how I can explain it in my taxes. And I do say, be very mindful of this. The government is no one to scam. They will pay you if you can prove it. And that's what a receipt does. It's a very, 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 very simple system. It is very easy. At the end of the year, it puts you in a space of maybe receiving money. Now, to open up the taxes conversation even more, I'm going to talk to where you might be on the scale of gigs. If you are a person that is hiring people, this part's for you. When you are negotiating or having a conversation with whomever is needing your services, it is up to you to let this brand know the people that they are hiring, any needs they might have, any needs that you might have, or any needs that the project might have. If the project is giving you $20,000, out of that $20,000, depending on the scale, all of these operational costs are not in that budget. They might allocate it to the amount of people that you say or things of that nature. It is up to you to let them know that would it be possible to receive Metro cards for said amount of people for transportation? Can we negotiate a way that we can do a ride share for a certain time where these people need to meet up here and get them all things? A brand's priority is your safety and their integrity. These are not big asks, and they will be covered. What the brand might need you to do, they might need you to compensate it and turn in that receipt to them, in which way they will reimburse you personally. However, what I'm saying is it is up to you to require these things. If you know that you're going to be there for a long time, negotiate lunch. Figure it out. But these things do not need to come out of your budget. Okay? But people aren't going to tell you that, because why would I tell you how to spend more of my money? No one does that. So understand that these are operational costs. Also, if you were on the other side of the thing and you were the person being hired by a third party or a liaison to the brand, when this person lets you know what they are asking of the job, if you want to do said job but need this or that or this or that, it is up to you to let them know that you might need these things. Now, be mindful of where you are in the totem pole of this job. Are you providing a skill? If you are, I would suggest you move forward with your ask. If you are a person that can be replaced by somebody else because of the lack of, not so much lack, but because of the level of contribution that you're doing, your ask might not be met. And that's just something that you have to do. What I am encouraging you to do, however, is ask. You just missing out on something because you didn't have something is not the practice of an entrepreneur. You cannot do any of this alone. Okay? Third party person, go back to the brand. Let them know. So the people that we're working with, a lot of them can't be involved, blah, 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 blah. But these are the people that we're trying to convey said project with, and they are the most authentic. That brand will give you whatever it is that you might need. It's very, 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 very simple. And they will cover it. Now, they will have their own personal terms as to how they cover it, but they will cover it. Okay? Let's move on. Going into agent versus independent. I was seeing a lot of conversations from people that had different ideas and things of that nature. And I see this a lot over different fields. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, so I work in different capacities of art. However, usually it's all the same. People with agents are not privy to the dance. Okay? An agent does your negotiating. They negotiate your rate. They negotiate the terms. They speak on your behalf, come back to you for confirmation, and then go through and confirm the terms. If you're going to have an agent, it is very, very, very important that your agent understands that they are there to work for you. Your agent is going to be requiring a large amount of your income if you are on that scale of gig work. And it doesn't matter if you're making $30,000 or $300. A gig is a job. And it could be the last one that you get. There's nothing solid once you're in this thing, this cycle. So just keep that in mind. However, an agent is there to negotiate all of these things for you. Now, a lot of people get the terms not so much mixed up, but I think that they misunderstand the benefits of having an agent versus having a manager. A manager is going to align you with things that align with your brand. They're going to set up you to be in places with likeness and people that are connected with you, that you'll be able to flourish in. They will put you in different spaces. They'll suggest different things. They'll negotiate different things to elevate your brand and your reach. That is what a manager does. An agent only works when you do. So if people think that they need an agent, you have to come back and look at the amount of work that you have. You might not need an agent, might need a manager, and vice versa. If you think that you need a manager, come to look at what would they be coming in and managing. Is there a schedule involved? Are you being torn from here to there? Are you doing more than you can handle? Are you overlapping and overbooking gigs? Are you canceling? Are you this? That is where a manager comes into play. But understanding the two is really, really, really crucial, because you could be paying somebody a lot of money to do something that if you just stopped, sat down, got focused, could do yourself. I use that to segue into the next part, which is social media. Social media can be a gift and a curse for an independent contractor. It is a gift in a way that you can, in essence, be your own manager. You can share your brand, whatever it is that you might offer, via social media. If you can acquire an LLC, like we talked about at the top of the chat, you can then take that, make an Instagram page, and direct people directly to your service. This will get you so much work in today's access because we're all digital and we all navigate through social media spaces. Now, knowing the field, knowing your rate and pay scale, like we talked about earlier, is how you then can go into certain spaces. Now, when you're doing things through social media and bookings and things of that nature, you do always want to get a paper trail. You want to get emails of everybody involved. You want to get the contact numbers of everybody involved. You want to look up their brand. You want to do these things. Money should not be your jump because it can cost you more than you're getting paid. Okay? But social media is a great way. Now, the catch to social media marketing and all of that kind of stuff is, again, like I said, verifying your brand, knowing the repercussions of said brand, looking for reviews. If you're not finding reviews or things of that nature, a lot of people might not be telling the truth about certain brand. This person could be a scam artist. Again, going back into the I need half deposit up front. If I tell that to 6 people at $250 a day, I just came up on $1,000 and I'm going out of town, and what can you do? Nothing. You're out of that money. So understanding that on social media and just making sure that a business is viable. A lot of people have a lot of information out here and they're telling you, yes, I did this and this is how it worked for me, and I'll tell you how too, if you pay me. Those kinds of exchanges never end up well because there is no variable. Like we said at the top, the handshake, there's no handshake. There's no expectation and deliverable. There's no deliverable. It's, oh, if it doesn't work for you, or if it didn't work for you, well, it worked for me. There's no point of, like, there's no way to contain that. So, like, be very, 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 very careful with the social media. Are y'all following me? So, back to the people. If you're hiring people, and again, we talked about the operational costs. You know what they might need. You know what they might require. This is when terms come into place. For the past at least 8 years, 8 to 10 years, all of my invoices at the bottom have a net 14 payout. After 14 days, 10% is applied to 7 days, and after 7, 20% per 7-day consecutive. This is at the bottom of every invoice that I have. Now, I work at a different level because, again, I go into skilled labor, which, though, if someone is hiring me, they're hiring me for me to do the job, not because they need a job done. Because of that, I need to be paid directly after you do. Now, when you have terms on your invoices, be mindful of your terms. 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. Most of the time, you're getting a net something from a company because whatever project or job you were hired to do, they are not paying for. If they are not paying for it, someone else is paying for it, and they will wait as long as they take to pay them to pay you. If you are in a position to let someone know when you are asked to do said job and you were given the rate, the dates, and the expectations, that is your opportunity to let them know, well, I need to be paid, or not I need to be paid, but I have a net 14-day, I have a net 30, blah, 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 blah. But this also needs to go on your thing. If you let that be known up front, before you said yes to the job, while you're in negotiations, this company will understand the strategy that they need to move to pay you out while waiting for said pay. A lot of times they will do it. You just need to give them the I-9 and the 1099. These are the only things that you need to provide an employer to get your money right after you've done said service. A lot of people do not tell you that. There is no such thing as a net 30, 60, or 90. Now, it does exist because, again, like I said, if they are not paying for said project directly, they will wait until somebody else pays them to pay you. Having an LLC helps you go into those kinds of conversations. you can easily just be taken care of. Now, because you're a limited liability company, you are third party, at most, it does take a typical pay scale in their company to pay you. Now, I say that because they might be on a weekly payroll, a bi-weekly payroll, or at very minimum, a monthly payroll. Some people are on salary. Now, depending on that, that is all of the time that they need to include you into their payout to compensate you in that time. When you have provided them with your I-9 and your 1099, they submit it, and their accounting now has on file that at the end of the year when they do their taxes, you were paid. And then when you go into your manila envelope and pull out that month, you now have all of the things that you did for that job to submit to get that money right back, as well as your 14 days. Now, be mindful that when you approach certain brands with different terms, again, read the room. Baby, if you are being hired to do a service that I can go downstairs and get somebody to do, and for less, be mindful that your terms are not my terms, and you can go. And that is a brand's right. That's why you are a limited liability company. Because at any given moment, we ain't doing that. And they don't owe you anything. And they really will just just move on. So just be mindful of all of that kind of stuff. Now, independent contractors. I employ you to look into unions. I am a member of 2 film unions, the Costume Design Union and the Costuming Union. Unions are your agents. You are protected under unions. Now, when you join a union versus staying independent, a union makes sure that you are taken care of in several different ways. They make sure that you eat, they make sure that you have water, they make sure that you have a ride home, and all of these other kind of things that are perks to just ensure that you are taken care of. If for any reason there's an issue with your pay, blah, 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 the union handles it and you don't have to. Now, to join a union, you literally just need go online to iatsc.com. You can put in your suggested field, see your local union. Most of them have them all across the United States. You can see the terms and what is needed to apply. You'll see the fees. All unions have not layaway plans, but plans that you can deduct money from your checks as you're doing it to pay off your dues. Some people pay their dues straight up so they don't owe the union, but it puts you in a different caliber of job. Okay? Gig work is fun, but if you're really good at something, get with a bunch of people in unions that hire for these things. And then you can then advance and start working and do different level of jobs. I do everything from costume design to creative directions for multi-million-dollar brands. But inside of those, the films cover me the union covered me for films. The union won't cover my freelance jobs in this field, but that is where my passion lands. These are things that my talent can afford to benefit and compensate me. So you split the two. But I do employ people to really look into the union. It's also a great way to take care of yourself with health benefits, Medicare, or different Blue Cross and Blue Shield. All of these things you have to remember as a freelancer, these things now become out-of-pocket cost. So again, that $250 goes out the window if you get a little in your throat. And now you got to go to the doctor. Now you're paying for it out of pocket. These are things that you just always want to take care of. And it also helps you to monitor your income when you're getting taxes so you know what you qualify depending on your scale. Okay? Now, job sourcing. Going on Google you will find a million groups, chat rooms, and different things of that nature that have so many resources for people to get jobs. Depending on your field, LinkedIn is more for the corporate girlies, but a lot of corporate people have side projects. So a person that's on LinkedIn that might be a chef might also do a ton of entertainment gigs. They also might do private chef, blah, blah, blah. If you're in the culinary field, you might want to get in a conversation with this one, because when they need help to employ people for these big gigs, they now are in communication with you. They're aligned with you and they're in your likeness. These rooms are amazing. I just added like 5 of my friends to styling and costume rooms that I'm in. And literally 2 of them were working within the week. Just because I told them, I was like, go in this, I'm going to add you, I'm going to get you added through the owner of the room, whoever the admin is. Once you're in, it's free game. It's Hunger Games. And I told them, put the notifications on your phone. When these emails drop, these people jump on these jobs quick and they're out. But if somebody posts on there, they're needing something. And this is a great way to start kicking off your gig work and your contract work. It's also a great way to network. Like I said, when I pull out those envelopes, on the envelope is the direct person that I was connected to for said job. I might write another little note under there. Reach out to so-and-so upon payment as a thank you. These are the things that you need to constantly do if you are networking or freelancing. Gigs do not fall in your lap, babe. Everybody does it now, especially if you're in New York. It wasn't this way a while ago, but now it's very, very, very accessible. As the pandemic showed us, a lot of people started retracting and pouring back into themselves because they really had a shakeup of what they're pouring into other people's companies. And the market got kind of saturated. But experience, tools, being organized, all of these things kind of help you navigate a little bit more strategically and intentionally in the freelance market. But these tools on Google, oh my gosh, TikTok, Facebook has tons of them. Just type in your interests at the top. Join these rooms. Go in there, share what it is that you do, share it is who you're looking for, who you're trying to connect. This is social media. You have to use it. You know, it's a tool for you to use, like right there. So job sourcing is really good. Now, creative variations, I'm not really going to dig into, but pretty much everything that I've been sharing, you can literally use in so many different aspects. Your resume is something that you should keep, but a resume in gig work is tricky because, I mean, it works, but it really doesn't. Gig work is kind of fast sometimes. You know, it can speed up. So a lot of people, usually when a person is contacting you for a gig, they've already vetted out or done some sort of research. I haven't been on an interview in about like 8-9 years. Like, somebody calls me, somebody told them. And they're calling me, hey, wanted to talk to you about XYZ. Now, I'm not certain, but this person probably was on my Instagram. They probably got information from this person that I've worked with before, blah, 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 blah. But when we sit down, there's already a sense of we already are familiar with, can you do the job? Now we want to know, do we want you to do the job? Because there's a million people that are doing what we do now. So you got to be very mindful. Attitude is another thing that you got to be very mindful with. Again, you are a limited liability company. Go home, sweetie. I don't owe you a reason. You're fired. And it can happen and it sucks, but usually it doesn't. But if it does, it was led up to something. You got into a little one-on-one with the caterer. Hey, can we talk to you? Yeah, we don't do that here. You're out. Simple. Be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful that everyone is not like you. No, a lot of people aren't from where you're from. They don't look like you. They don't sound like you. But if you have issues with those kind of things, gig work is not for you. You are not protected by any means. Okay, so it's like, you can't work around this one, or you don't like these girls, or la 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 la, this one, this one, this one. This is not your avenue, because that will be picked up on immediately and you will not be asked back. And usually the people that run in the circle of the things that you do will all discuss why they don't hire you, or when your name comes up, oh, so-and-so sent me that. Ugh. It could have been 10 years ago. They'll bring up the fact that you got into it with a caterer. It's just what people do. So cover your own self. Be mindful of that. So, like, I hope that helps, you know, everybody with the whole gig work and all of that kind of stuff. I said 2 hours, and we did it in under an hour. Maybe I'm just that thorough. Anybody have, like, a question or anything? Like, I said I wouldn't take them, but now I'm over time. I'm under time. But if you don't, like, honestly, again, I'm going to take this. If anybody typed anything, I really didn't see any questions come up on there. This is not going to live on Facebook. I'm going to actually leave it up just for the day. And then I'm going to take it down and let it live on YouTube page. Get ahead of the game was the message. Get ahead of the game is the message. Absolutely. Get ahead of the game, because freelancing is a race. Whatever information you can do, we all are going to get the gun and have to start in the same space. But do yourself a favor. Google the track. Find out how long the race is. Find out what kind of turf it is. Find out who the referee is. Find out who won last year. Find out where they have the race. Find out what the weather's going to be that day. Find out all of that information, so when you go to start the race, you have given yourself a leg up in the game. Great message, Donnie. That's absolutely true. Get ahead of the game was the message. Because even having that little bit, at least you know that you have information to put yourself as a contender to win your own race. Know this information. Be prepared. When you're sending out your invoices, send your invoice with your W-9, with your I-9 and your 1099. Please find below. Please confirm receipt. Small things that are going to help you advance. Hi, thank you so much for reaching out to me. Can you please share with me the details of the job, i.e., what date, time, and what is the going rate for the position? We're going to be paying $250. Can you do a gig for $250, or is that not in your field? This is when you need to know this. You also need to know, can you dedicate the time that might be needed to it? These are all the things that you yourself have to get ahead of the game with, so bitches can have your money. It's money everywhere from when I dropped it earlier. But here's a little bit. So I hope this helped. Let me get more money for the finale. I hope this helped everybody. Merry Christmas. Go get that bread. Go get that money. Get your gigs, bitches. I hope y'all have an amazing holiday. Hit me up for any questions on YouTube. I'll be happy to help. Love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. And bitch, better get your money. Bye, y'all.